What if it really happened? A national alert, sirens blaring, a sky that doesn't look like anything you've seen before. In that moment, where would you run? See, most people think a nuclear strike is science fiction. But with rising global tensions, headlines about rogue nations, and missile tests increasing by the week, this isn't fear-mongering anymore. Today, we're breaking down the 10 US states where your odds of surviving a nuclear attack are dramatically higher. Not conspiracy, not fiction. This is based on fallout patterns, military strike maps, infrastructure resilience, and real government assessments. You might be living in one of these states right now, or dangerously close to the worst ones. Either way, this countdown might just change how you see the US map forever. Let's start at number 10, because by the time we get to number 1, you'll see how your state could make all the difference in your odds of surviving a worst-case scenario. Number 10, Vermont. When people imagine Vermont, they picture maple syrup, cozy cabins, and fall foliage. But few realize how uniquely safe this little state could be in a nuclear scenario. With no major military bases, no nuclear plants, and the second lowest population in the eastern US, Vermont is one of the least likely targets. According to FEMA's fallout dispersion models, prevailing winds from the west mean radioactive clouds would likely pass over, not settle here. What sets Vermont apart isn't just low exposure risk, but self-reliance. The state ranks high in local food production, with dairy farms, orchards, and community-supported agriculture widespread. Add in fresh water from rivers and wells, and you have a strong survival setup. Sure, winters are harsh, but for those prepared, that's a fair trade for peace of mind. In a world gone dark, Vermont could be one of the few places still glowing, with safety, not radiation. Number 9. South Dakota. Often overlooked, South Dakota is a sleeper pick for nuclear survival. Its low population density, less than 12 people per square mile, means fewer casualties and faster fallout dissipation. Most of its military infrastructure is outdated or decommissioned, reducing direct strike risk. According to the NUKEMAP simulation tool, even major cities like Sioux Falls or Rapid City are unlikely to be targeted compared to East or West Coast metros. But here's what really counts. Abundant fresh water from the Missouri River, arable farmland, and a culture of self-sufficiency. South Dakotans already rely on local hunting, food storage, and renewable heating like wood-burning stoves. Plus, the state experiences consistent wind that disperses contaminants faster. Medical facilities may be fewer, but residents are used to rugged independence. If chaos strikes and highways jam up elsewhere, South Dakota's remote prairie and resourceful people just might quietly outlast the storm. Number 8. Arkansas. Arkansas may surprise you. With its location in the Ozark foothills and far from the nation's largest cities or military hubs, it's an ideal safe zone during nuclear fallout. The Ozark Mountains act as a natural radiation buffer, and prevailing winds from the west would likely carry contaminants away from the interior. The Arkansas River supplies clean water, and forest cover adds both concealment and resources. According to the Arkansas Division of Emergency Management, many rural counties already conduct annual disaster readiness drills, especially tornado and flood response, which overlap with nuclear sheltering techniques. Food security is strong, thanks to the state's rice and poultry production, and it's one of the top 10 states for off-grid homesteading potential. The downsides? Healthcare access in remote regions may be limited, and some areas are prone to tornadoes. But in the big picture, Arkansas blends safety, natural barriers, and sustainable living into one of the best post-blast options in the US. Number 7. Maine. Tucked into the northeastern tip of the US, Maine is often called vacation land. But in a nuclear emergency, it might just be survivor land. With no major military installations, a sparse population, and no nuclear reactors, Maine is extremely unlikely to be a first strike target. According to FEMA's Emergency Risk Index, Maine ranks among the lowest for radiological threat exposure. But safety here is more than just luck. Maine's vast forests and freshwater lakes make it rich in natural shelter and resources. Fishing communities along the coast, plus inland farms give it a food security advantage, especially for those who know how to live off the land. The state also ranks in the top 5 for rural broadband infrastructure, meaning communication may remain intact longer than you'd expect. Its only real drawback? Long, brutal winters. But if you're prepared, snow is far better than fallout, and up here, the biggest threat might just be frostbite. Number 6. Montana. With its wide-open skies and massive land area, Montana offers one thing most states can't: space. In a nuclear emergency, distance from impact zones is everything, and Montana delivers. The population density here is just 7 people per square mile, and outside of a few missile silos, there's little to attract a nuclear strike. While those silos could be targets, the sheer size of the state allows for safer zones farther afield. The Rocky Mountains provide physical shielding from fallout drift, and consistent wind patterns push airborne contaminants eastward, away from many communities. Plus, Montana has an abundance of fresh water, wild game, and land for agriculture. Residents are often self-reliant, with many already engaged in hunting, canning, and home energy generation. Add in the low urbanization and high elevation, which reduces fallout concentration, and Montana becomes a compelling survival stronghold. It's the kind of place where prepping isn't just a hobby, it's a way of life. Number 5. Oregon. While Portland gets the headlines, much of Oregon remains rural, remote, and strategically unimportant in nuclear terms. Most of the state lies outside high-risk blast zones, and prevailing Pacific winds push fallout inland from the west coast, meaning eastern Oregon specifically benefits from natural wind barriers like the Cascades, shielding it from coast origin fallout. Oregon also shines in terms of natural resources. Rivers like the Columbia and Deschutes ensure freshwater access, while the state's robust agriculture, from wheat and hazelnuts to cattle, provides solid food security. Even in worst-case scenarios, Oregon has large protected forest lands for foraging and shelter. What's more, Oregon is one of the top-ranked states for renewable energy infrastructure, including hydro and solar, boosting post-disaster survivability. The downside? Parts of the state are earthquake-prone, and there are a few coastal naval facilities. But head east of the Cascades, and you'll find some of the most livable fallout-free zones in the country. Number 4. Utah. Utah's wide deserts and mountain ranges may seem harsh, but in a nuclear emergency, that isolation becomes a major advantage. With no large coastal cities, few military targets, and a central western location, most of Utah is well out of the blast range. According to FEMA's nuclear emergency zone models, large portions of Utah would avoid both direct hits and major fallout drift, especially in the Wasatch Plateau and southern desert regions. Utah also has some of the country's most active preppers, and it's ranked among the top 5 states for emergency readiness per capita. Thanks to the Mormon Church's long-standing emphasis on food storage, many residents already have months' worth of supplies at home. The state also boasts access to fresh water from mountain runoff and deep aquifers, plus strong solar energy potential. Downsides include hot summers and arid terrain. But if you're geared for survival, Utah offers both distance and discipline in uncertain times. Number 3. West Virginia. Often underrated, West Virginia offers a unique blend of natural protection, remoteness, and self-reliance. With no major cities or federal military targets, it's almost never mentioned in strike simulations, making it statistically safer than its neighbors. The Appalachian Mountains create natural fallout barriers, and much of the population already lives in small, dispersed communities, ideal for avoiding mass disruption. What really makes West Virginia stand out is the off-grid potential. Many residents already rely on well water, wood heat, and local farming or hunting, skills that become life-saving post-attack. The state is also one of the top in the country for home gun ownership, providing protection in lawless conditions. Its terrain makes travel difficult, which in this case is a bonus. Outsiders would struggle to access remote haulers. While healthcare access is sparse, if you're looking for a low-profile, high-survivability state, the mountain state might just be your best bet. Number 2. Alaska. Alaska might seem like an extreme option, but that's exactly why it ranks so high. Its sheer geographic isolation makes it one of the least likely nuclear targets. There are no densely packed cities, and its military bases, while important, are few and widely spaced. And thanks to Arctic airflows, fallout from continental U.S. strikes would have a hard time reaching Alaska's interior. The survival edge comes from abundant resources: clean rivers, endless forests, and wildlife for hunting and fishing. Many Alaskans are already skilled in off-grid living, and cabins with solar panels, wood stoves, and water filters are the norm in rural communities. Alaska also has more freshwater lakes than any other state. Of course, it's not without risks: frigid winters, logistical challenges, and the occasional earthquake. But for the prepared, Alaska offers distance, discretion, and dependable survival conditions, making it a surprisingly strong contender in a nuclear crisis. Number 1. Idaho. Topping the list is none other than Idaho, a state that blends ideal geography, low nuclear strike probability, and high self-sufficiency culture. There are no high-value military targets in the state, and its largest city, Boise, is relatively small compared to targets like New York or LA. That makes Idaho a low-priority zone in any nuclear strike scenario, according to nuclear risk assessments published by the Union of Concerned Scientists. But it's what Idaho has that really seals the deal: clean rivers, fertile farmland, and a population already skilled in homesteading and survival. The Sawtooth and Bitterroot mountain ranges offer both physical shelter and water sources, and Idaho's communities are known for their strong neighborly networks, critical during long-term disruptions. Add in a healthy gun culture, vast public land, and minimal political unrest, and Idaho checks nearly every box. It's remote, resource-rich, and ready, not just to survive, but to rebuild. We've covered where you'll be safe, but next, let's explore the danger zones. The states with the most hidden danger. Don't miss it.